what I can tell you is that I do have a 90-day results guarantee, stating that if you don't see any changes on your credit within 90 days, I will personally give you all your money back. Because obviously we didn't do nothing, and that's not cool to take your money for no reason. We got to do something. So I told him that, and he was telling me like, man, I've never heard that before. I've never heard of any company having a 90-day results guarantee. And he said, man, you know what? I think I'll try you guys out. I was in the low 600s, and right now I'm looking at my credit, and it says I'm in the high 700s. And I just want to say thank you, man. Thank you for everything. He was so excited because his goal is to get business funding. So he told me that, and I was just thinking like, man, this is what it's all about. Normally it's about 4 to 6 months, but in just 1 month for this guy, that 30 days, everything negative came off.
Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Business with a servant's heart. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk on life. Our guest will share his life story. We want you to success in life. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk on life. We're gonna talk on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are gonna witness.
Shout out to my sponsors, A Mind for All Seasons. Your brain is your greatest competitive edge, so why not optimize it? Just text OPTIMIZE to 72000, 72000 for instant access to 6 quick videos that help you think faster, remember more, and stay focused longer. A big thanks to Epic App, the 4-step storytelling system I use every day to connect and to convert. Try it free. Email me at stever1961@gmail.com. That's stevr1961@gmail.com, and I'll get you the free app. Doing Business with a Servant's Heart was just named top 6 in small business marketing. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. Today's Valentine's Day, and let's talk about love. I'm already loving my guest. This guy gets it. He gets the servant's heart in an industry we'll talk about that, let's be honest, can screw you and screw you badly with your money. We're going to talk about credit and how to fix that, and how he comes from a servant's heart with his team members of 35 people. Imagine, it's a young guy. He's got 35 team members. This guy is rocking in business, and you're going to learn a lot from him today. But let's start with our gratitude, especially this Valentine's Day. There's just one word to truly describe you, and that's awesome. I just described my guest today, but that's you as well. Wake up in the morning, say, I'm awesome, because you are. You're here, and you can help and serve as many people as you want. With that being said, and all that great stuff, let's welcome our guest. Daniel, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I am too. Let's talk about credit. And like I mentioned in my monologue, people can get screwed. There's problems with credit. What did you see to say, I got to solve this problem?
Well, I seen that in the very beginning, like I said, I was trying to get my own credit repaired because I had bad credit. I seen that all the places I was reaching out to, they seemed untrustworthy. Like the websites seemed kind of funky. And then when I got on the phone with them, it seemed like I was talking to somebody that wasn't even in the United States. And I was like, man, I don't know about this. So after recognizing that, I realized that there was a need in this area for credit repair, and especially for trustworthy credit repair. And after I got my credit repaired by my friend, I recognized, after getting into business myself, I was able to get business funding for an Airbnb business as well as a car rental business. But I realized that I could also provide value to people in this space with credit repair. So in a nutshell, that's how my company, Move Mountains Credit Repair, became a company.
Move Mountains Credit Repair. Audience, just raise your hand if you want to move mountains. I'm right next door to them. I'm right with them. We're all raising our hand. That's a really cool name. Well, let's talk about the myths of credit repair. We talked about it earlier a little bit, but there are a lot of myths, because I talk to people, I don't need credit repair. I don't care what my credit is. What's that statement mean to you?
It means to me that people are afraid of what they don't understand. If they understood it, they would be more willing to look into it. But like you said, myths. One of the myths that I recognize is that people think that if they check their credit, it's going to go down. But monitoring your credit is different than getting something called a hard inquiry. A hard inquiry is when you go to try to apply for a car or a house or maybe an apartment. Then they have to like pull your credit and see what all is on there. But that's separate from credit monitoring. And then there's something called a soft inquiry where they check up on you, but they're not seeing everything, and that doesn't hurt your credit. So just remember that the only thing that hurts your credit is hard inquiries when you go to apply for something. But if you're just monitoring your credit, you should be doing that. If you're gonna do a pre-approval for a credit card, that's wise. So that way you know if they're going to approve you or not. That's a soft inquiry. And a lot of times you want to just make sure and verify where you're applying for that pre-approval to make sure that it's a soft inquiry. So in a nutshell, these are just some of the myths right here.
That's a really good tip. And when I'm thinking, I go to the grocery store, stay away from the green bananas, buy the yellow bananas. Don't buy the hard, be aware of the hard, stay away from the soft. And what you don't know, you don't know. I love that you said that. And that's the problem. But this affects personal and professional. We've got a lot of entrepreneurs and business owners here. How can you help, and how can building their credit in business really help them?
So building their credit in business can help them the same way that it helped me, because before I was aware of the power of credit and aware that you could use credit to get money, what I was trying to do was I was trying to work my job and save up as much money as I could to eventually start doing stuff in business. But the term for that is called bootstrapping. And that's bad when you start using your own money. Because if you're using your own money, at some point it's going to run out. And if something bad happens in your business, now you're affected personally. But if you understood credit and you understood business, you would recognize that you can set up your business, which provides protection for you personally because you have a business bank account. Meaning that if your business does go under, or let's say someone was to sue you, all they're going to be able to affect and take is going to be the money in that LLC, in that business. But your personal life can still keep going uninterrupted. So in a nutshell, I believe that's why business owners and entrepreneurs understanding credit is so essential. So you don't end up, if your business goes under, going under with it.
Yeah. And I fund companies. So funding is important. And we talk to them all the time. Debt is good. And they're like, it's such a backwards thinking, but debt is good. You get $1 million for your company. Well, you make 5 million, you pay off the million. I'm being very simple here. But to get that $1 million as business, or 50,000, like you mentioned, in the two companies, that professional credit number is so important. Where should you be and how do you grow it?
Well, you're talking about credit
business. Yeah, credit wise, correct.
So for credit, the way that you can grow it is first and foremost, you want to make sure that you have credit cards that their utilization is not all the way maxed out. And what that means is, like, let's say you have a $10,000 credit card. You don't want to go apply for something when your credit card is at $10,000. You want to apply when your credit card is usually below 30%. So you could be below $3,000. Then you're looking like you're in a much better position to go apply for your credit. So I'd say if you wanted to improve your credit immediately, quickly, something you could do is pay down your utilization, because every month your closing statement is going to close with the amount that you either paid into or didn't pay into. So in a nutshell, the more you pay it down before the end of the month, the more your credit can actually go up points wise. I'd say about 40, 50 points depending. So a lot of times people ask me like, man, how can I get my credit up really quickly? That's something that you can do on your end to try to get that up really quickly.
Well, you just proved, Daniel, that you are the expert. That is a powerful statement. But here's what it is. I understood it because I know it, but I know a lot of people listening are like, that sounds pretty complex. Like, I'm not going to put an engine in my car. Well, as I always say, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to have a mechanic do it. Is that one of the reasons to reach out to you? Because this is a complex service?
Well, you're right, because here's the thing. even though you may pay down your credit card, let's say if you had $10,000 and you pay down $8,000 of it, that's going to have your credit go up, but you're going to be limited with how high it can go up. And the limit is, do you have negative items on your credit? If you have negative items on your credit, it's almost like a catch 22. No matter how good you do on your credit, it's not even going to reflect. There's going to be little, if any, change, positive change on your credits. Because what you have to do is you have to get those negatives off. And really quickly, a negative is, like we mentioned earlier, a hard inquiry, that's negative. A collection, that's negative. A charge off, that's negative. A bankruptcy, that's very negative. That's probably the most negative. So these things are negative. Student loans, that can be negative. Child support, that can be negative. A judgment, that can be negative. All these things are negative. And if you have them on your credit, like I said, you could be paying down your car, you could be paying down in installment loans, but it's not going to help you at all. So I always encourage people, first and foremost, to become aware of their credit. That's why credit monitoring is so important. And Experian and Credit Karma, those are not qualified. Those are not even good enough to tell you what's going on because they're suppressing information from you. So a lot of times when people go to get started with me, what we do, the first thing is we have a consultation and we go over their credit together so we could just become aware of what their problem even is.
I say this a lot. I'm rarely speech. That is such a great way of putting it together. Because my next question, bouncing off that, is how do you serve your clients?
Yes. So the way that we serve our clients is after we do that review, I go on ahead and I explain and give them some more understanding because, like I said, the biggest problem here is the fact that people don't understand how their credit works. But if they get an understanding of it, then they start knowing what they can do to actually make an impact on their credit. So we go over that, excuse me, and I just explain, all the different things that they have on there. And then after I am able to see what we need to work on, I let them know, how much it's going to be for them to work with us. And then from there, I usually just need 3 documents from them: their ID, social security card, and a proof of address, like a bill. And the reason we need that is not because we personally want their information, but because Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, they need their information to verify that they're the same person that's on their credit profile. There's so many Billy Jeans, there's so many Andrew Jacksons, there's so many people with these same names, but what differentiates you from that other person that has your same name is your social security number, your address, and then, like I said, your ID. So we need these 3 things. After we get these things, I send that over to my team. And then what my team does is they go on ahead and start disputing on behalf of the person, right? They start saying like, hey, this is on their credit, but it doesn't belong there. Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, you need to remove this. And then as we do this process usually takes about 4 to 6 months. If a person doesn't have a bankruptcy, if they do have a bankruptcy, it's usually about 5 to 8 months. But if they don't have a bankruptcy, about 4 to 6 months. And then usually at that time, they're pretty much done. But throughout that time, they get progress reports. We update them on the changes and usually do my best to educate people and let them know like what's going on throughout the whole process. So in a nutshell, that's usually what our services consist of.
Well, you're completely different than a lot of credit repairers I've talked to or seen or heard stories from how you serve, because that first meeting is free. You meet with Steve Ramona and go, give me these 3 things to protect me. So you're looking at the right thing. They're doing the right thing. So it's not like using, and then you go and say, hey, Steve, I could do this, this, and this. Here's your result. Possibly, of course, you can't guarantee anything. I can't think a better way, audience, how to serve somebody, especially in this industry. It's powerful. Let me ask you, I know you've tons of stories. You've been doing this almost 3 years. This company's been a year. Congratulations on a year. It's always the great point to make as a company you're taking off. Tell us a story or two of a company or a person you work with and how it changed the game for them.
I recently just had a gentleman that I met at it was an event. It was a speaking engagement that I had, and he had told me that he had worked with other credit repair companies before. I hear this a lot, actually. It's usually the most common what I hear. But he was telling me like, man, I was working with this company and I was trying to get results, and 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months went by, and I didn't see any changes on my credit. I mean, I know you do credit repair, but can you really do anything for me? That's what he told me. And I said, well, um, I'm not going to make you any promises. But what I can tell you is that I do have a 90-day results guarantee, stating that if you don't see any changes on your credit within 90 days, I will personally give you all your money back. Because obviously we didn't do nothing, and that's not cool to take your money for no reason. You know, we got to do something. There's got to be some kind of changes, some kind of deletions, some kind of negative items coming off of your credit. So I told him that, and he was telling me like, man, you know, I've never heard that before. I've never heard of any company having a 90-day results guarantee. And he said, man, you know what? I think I'll try you guys out. I'll try you guys out. You seem like someone that is genuine, and I'm willing to get started. So he got started with us, and this is an anomaly. This doesn't happen every time for everyone. But 1 month in, after working with us, he gives me a call. It was morning time. I had just woken up, and this person is also in California. So no, they had just woken up too. But I guess he woke up with such excitement, with such joy, that he just had to give me a call. And he says he just had to give me a call, and he says, "Hey Daniel, you're not gonna believe this. I was in the low 600s, and right now I'm looking at my credit, and it says I'm in the high 700s." And I just want to say thank you, man. Thank you for everything. He sent me screenshots. He was so excited because his goal is to get business funding, and he was just telling me about his plans and what he can do, and how now, just 30 days after working with my company, Move Mountains Credit Repair, he can actually start taking those steps to get business funding. So he told me that, and I was just thinking like, man, this is what it's all about. And like I said, this is an anomaly. Normally it's about 4 to 6 months, but in just 1 month for this guy, that 30 days, everything negative came off. He had 2 charge-offs, some hard inquiries, a couple of collections, but we were able to get that stuff all off. And the truth is, when we're doing credit repair, people could see results quicker than 4 to 6 months, but we let them know it's 4 to 6 months so that they understand that it's not going to be overnight. Because in reality, it's up to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax when they delete the information. So what that means is it could go like this. Round 1 or month 1, there's no changes. Month 2, there's no changes. Month 3, a whole bunch of changes. Month 4, there's no changes. Month 5, you're completely done. Or it could be like month 1, a whole bunch of stuff comes off of your credit and you're done. But in a nutshell, it's kind of like fickle like that, because Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax, they like to stall. And since they're stalling, they're trying to take as much time as they can. And usually their goal is to wait the person out, because they usually know that consumers are impatient, and they also know that the consumer doesn't even know this stuff, so they can deduct that they're probably working with a company. So their goal is to keep waiting them out, because the truth is, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, they actually get paid by reporting other people's information. And in a nutshell, that's why they're not incentivized to take the stuff off of people's credit. That's their money, and no one wants their money to be funny. So that's why they make it so difficult. So in a nutshell, that's why, like I said, working with our company, we have so many different strategies, because we've been doing this for a while to actually get results. But they know that the person is working with the company, so that's why they make it difficult like that. But in a nutshell, it's inevitable. They know at some point they're going to have to follow the law. A lot of times people think credit repair is like illicit or illegal, but in reality, all we're doing is exercising the consumer's rights. The consumer just doesn't know the law. So that's why it seems like magic, or it seems like, something that's, shouldn't be done. But no, in reality, it's just the law, and it's that simple.
Nobody has the time to Google it. How do I hard credit? How do I do this? And some people, maybe 5% of your listeners will do it. And I know, Daniel, I'm going to speak for you as a service. Great. If you figured it out, great. But we got to realize these credit companies, I'm realizing just now, that's why I love doing podcasts. I've learned they're human. They're going to make mistakes. 1, 2, get you involved, or I do it myself. They realize you're involved, your company, they're going to move faster, because they know you're going to come after them. Oh, that's the wrong word. You're going to make sure things are done right. They see Steve Ramona. Oh, okay, we'll wait him out till he'll go. A year goes by and he says, screw it. I'll just keep my credit where it's at and walk away. Is that kind of the strategy, I guess, is the word?
Yes, but no, you're right. we actually do come after them. And the way that that looks is
Okay.
like this right here. Like, let's say for an example that we've disputed something on a person's credit for like 3 months now, and it's something that's incorrect. Let's say that the person paid off a collection, but this creditor is saying that they still owe a balance, even though they already paid it off. What that is a FCRA violation. They're violating the law. FCRA, that means the Federal Credit Reporting Act. And it's pretty much the do's and don'ts from Congress on what you can do pertaining to credit and consumers. So, in a nutshell, if they've been told multiple times that this does not belong to the person, or that this has already been paid off, and they still want to play games and keep collecting checks on their end, what's going to happen is my legal team, they're going to review all this information. They're going to build a case, and then they're going to sue them. And what that looks like for our clients is usually our clients get settlements between $1,000 and $3,000. So in a nutshell, you're right. When they see that you're working with the company, a lot of times that's like a match under their butt to actually take it more seriously.
Powerful. It is powerful. And again, what you don't know, as we said in the beginning, you're going to teach and educate, which is a great word that you used. A lot of companies in credit repair just do it. Say, goodbye, Steve. Thank you. And nothing wrong with that. But you take it to them, which a servant heart in business does. You take it to the next step to make sure I know what's going on, and maybe future things that you can avoid, maybe not. And that's a cool thing. You know, we're coming to the end here, and I have a question in my mind I've been thinking about the whole time. At the beginning, you talked about 50,000 for Airbnb and that other company. Is that the number that businesses should look for? Is that kind of a threshold for funding?
It's not really a threshold. You can get more. I could have gotten more, but the thing is, what I what I wanted to do is I wanted to steward that $50,000 before trying to get more, because you can request limit increases and you can get more money. But at the time, I didn't really know how much like it would cost to get into all these different things. But I was thinking like I probably don't need $1 million to get into this, because the thing is, I do Airbnb, but I don't do Airbnb where I buy the property. What I do is something called rental arbitrage. So I use somebody else's property, and with their permission and with them understanding what it is that I'm doing, of course, and we're able to have people, utilize their property for short-term rentals. And in a nutshell, yeah, I recognized that 50K was pretty much all that I needed for both businesses. So, but yeah, people can get more if they want, but that's just what I had chosen.
You know what? And exactly what I was hoping you would say. I wanted you to say, because me doing funding, we call it tranches. I work with, 150, $100 million deals, projects. Yeah, tranches. You need 50,000 today. Maybe it's a line of credit for 50,000 in 6 months. You buying more properties or partner up with more properties. You just started a second podcast, which I would love to bring you back and talk about arbitrage Airbnb. I know a little bit about it, but I think it's an opportunity for people listening to make some extra money, because you can do that part-time, right? Okay. Well, you heard it here. I just promised, and I got to fulfill my promise on the servant's heart. We're going to bring Daniel back. He's absolutely wonderful guest. And thank you for being a great guest, taking the time. I asked this question to all my guests. I want to get to know you a little bit better, especially you. So we just met today, and we've connected really well, and it's so beautiful how that can happen. So I'm going to go in LA, your favorite restaurant. You're going to tell me, it is my favorite restaurant. I'm going to reserve a table for me and you to eat, but I also want you to invite 3 people. Those 3 people have been influential game changers in your life, and they can be dead or alive, doesn't matter. And for me, the second question is, what are you going to order for food that we're going to eat? What
I would order is, there's a spot that I really like. It's called LA Brisket, and in a nutshell, they have some fries with brisket and some sauce on there. Delicious, man. Anyways, I'm gonna order that, and then the 3 people that I'm gonna bring is my wife, because she's been the glue to everything that I've been doing. There's no way I'd be able to run 3 businesses without just killing myself at that at that rate. But she manages everything. She deals with all the inquiries, and yeah, she's really great at managing. So she's definitely coming along. And then who I would want to invite after that would be my Airbnb mentor. if I could bring him along if he's available, I'd like to
Yeah.
have him show up. And then the gentleman that helped me get business funding, that gentleman was his partner. He was also very influential and helped me grow in my business through systems and me understanding the stuff that I need to have in place, as well as me understanding delegation, because I can't do all this stuff on my own. I need a team. So he helped me with that. So those would be the three people that I would bring with me.
Well, I'm going to tell your mentors, I could tell you're a great student because you're successful, you're doing well, you're running 3 businesses. It takes mentors. We're not going to get into that. Reach out to me or Daniel and talk more about mentors. They're game changers. I do want to ask, what's your wife's name?
Her name is Priscilla.
Priscilla, shout out to you if you listen to this. God bless you for being the great support, great partner that you needed. It takes a tribe. We can't do this alone, as you know. It's so important.
You're right.
Again, thank you. Wonderful guest. I know that I've got so much information here. People want to reach out to you. How can they connect with you?
So they can reach out to me on Instagram. My Instagram name is Daniel McDavid 1. They can also reach out to me online. They can just type in Move Mountains Credit Repair, and I'm on Google. And then what's it called? Another place they can reach out to me would be my number 949-736-2184. I'll just say that number one more time: 949-736-2184. Yes.
Well, a servant's heart gives a phone number like that. You're wonderful. You're a new Marvel character. I'm going to start developing this. You're now the super money man.
Oh, wow.
With a green cape with a dollar sign on it, because you're making people money left and right. And I so appreciate you because the world needs help, needs education. Of course, we need money as well. And it's awesome. And audience, here's your call to action. Subscribe to my YouTube channel or any other YouTube channel or podcast, because here's why. These are gifts. And I'm listening today. I think I might have a person I want to connect them with. I'm going to talk to them. But you're listening and you're going, God, my friend complains about his credit all the time. Well, guess what? Share this link with them. Have them listen for 10, 15 minutes. I guarantee you they're going to want to learn more if they're interested in really building their credit. And you just gave them a gift because they reach out to Daniel and Daniel helps them, like the story you told us. You just impacted them. And that should be our goal every day or every week or every year that we can, when we meet people, we just try to make that impact. With that being said, me and Daniel want to thank everybody for watching or listening to this podcast. And we'll see you all on the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Have a great day, everyone.